And your champion, fighting boys class 220, the score of 1,300
Fuck everything in your body telling you not to do it. If you have that mindset, you're not gonna fucking hit it. Okay? Same thing with football. Any contact sport. You go in there acting like a pussy, you're gonna get fucking hit hard. Alright? You're gonna get hit fucking hard. So, you go in there, full force. You don't even have that mindset that you're not gonna hit it. You go in there, and you're like, fuck you. You're my bitch.
Alright, what is up, y'all? Today I want to go over a little bit of a different video and be talking about how to squat, because even though it's probably my worst lift numbers wise, I think it's my best lift in terms of form. I just want to go over what helped me gain a lot of weight on squat before powerlifting season, and how to get depth, because basically my first meet last year, I got red lighted on my first two, and then the last one, it was like a pity green light, and then the next meet I did 40 more pounds with better form. Fucking cat. Alright, so just want to go over the second most important thing in lifting, and that is safety. Squat is probably the most dangerous lift, even, with a spotter at least. Obviously, if you're doing bench by yourself with no safety bars, it's probably more dangerous. But even then, you can ditch the weight. Squat, if you don't have safety bars and don't have a spotter, even if you do have a spotter and you don't have safety bars, I'd say the safety bars are better. I don't squat with a spotter, just not enough room, and it doesn't really matter because I just fall in the safety bar. So first on, where do you set them up, right? Because the worst thing you can do is hit them, and that causes you to fail. That's even more dangerous because you can injure yourself doing the actual lift, right? So what I do is I go as low as I possibly can squatting. So, even if you're on your tippy toes, as low as you possibly can get, stick my arm out, and that's pretty much where I set them. So as you can see in the video, I think, in my opinion, better too low than too high, definitely, because you can always kind of just fall with the weight on. So always fall forward if you have safety bars, especially if you have short ones like I do, and never walk out past the safety bars, even though I do in the video, because I'm trying to demonstrate it, and I'm getting pretty low because it's the bar, right? So, alright, first, there's kind of two ways to unrack it, in my opinion. The first way is my go-to. It's where you almost like throw your hips forward. I think it's less fatiguing in terms of squat. But recently I've had to just kind of squat the bar off because my ankle hurts doing the kind of throwing your hips forward method. So, there's that. I'm not going to do a full squat here, and then I'll get more in depth. So, alright, starting with the walkout. The walkout's pretty simple. For me, I just go first step with my left foot, second step with my right, and kind of wiggle around until they're pretty even. I think you don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be close. You know what I mean? So, there's that. Because you definitely don't want to be uneven with your feet. I kind of have in terms of foot placement, maybe a little wider than shoulder width, and I like to have my. Yeah, that's that. And then, of course, on leg day, you, of course, want to flex your upper body. What else did you do? And next, I want to do something I struggle with, and I see a lot of other people struggle with, and that's the dive bomb. It's where you go kind of down as fast as you can, and it really leads to, one, going too low, which is a thing, right? You can go too low, you get in a bad position, you're just not really strong that low. It's just not. And it doesn't really help, especially if you're training for athleticism, right? Getting that low, it's just not something that really happens in real life, right? You're never in a full ass squat, right? Unless you're taking a shit in the woods, maybe, right? But I don't know. Maybe you have to be strong to do that. You know, if you have the Lizzo shits. But yeah, so I dive bomb all the time. Honestly, I think that's my worst problem is getting too low, which is better than. It's like a good problem to have, right? Because at least you get green lights. But if you go down too fast and you go down too low, it's really hard to be consistent with your reps and have good form with your reps. You kind of get off balance, or um, even like your hips will move first, or your ass will move first. You do the butt wink thingy. I don't really know. Um, so yeah, I'll even explain the hitch. I'll go back to the hitch. The hitch is basically, it's kind of hard to explain. You don't stick your ass out. You kind of try to put your wiener backwards, if that makes sense. You try to put your hips backwards, right? So don't stick your butt out. And what it does is it kind of straightens your legs, and it has the bar right above your legs, but your back is a little forward, and that allows you to it just works, right? It just works. It just allows you to get lower, right? It allowed me to do it at least. So yeah, and you want to take that big breath. It helps. Look at fat people squatting; they squat more than they deadlift, right? Because that big belly will literally push up. So it helps to breathe in your stomach as much as you can. Try to get that beer belly going. And that's the best way to do it, right? So and then here, yeah, back to how to fail. You gotta go forward, right? Because especially if you have safety bars, if you have a spotter, do not ditch the weight on them. But if you only have one spotter, I mean, I think most of us know about the guy who died squatting, right? Yeah, really sad, but you gotta put on safety bars. And you gotta have, I would say, if you're going for something heavy, at least 3 spotters, realistically. So you can have 1 spotter and safety bars, or 3 spotters and no safety bars, or honestly no spotter and safety bars. You just fall forward, right? I've never had anything close to like a bad fail, right? And if you don't have either for some reason, you gotta do the thing where you dump it backwards and try to leap forward with your hips. So it's kind of like those. I don't know if you guys, for football, it's like those tackling drills where you're on your knees and you just throw your hips forward. That's kind of what it is like, I guess. So after you fail, of course, since nobody does leg day, you curl it back up and then you put it back. So it's pretty simple, honestly. Squat, I think it's pretty simple. I'd say it's the easiest one to eagle lift, right? I did it a shit ton. I used to think I could squat 500 for like 5, right? Because I'd go down like this much and go back up. You know, I can barely. I think the most I've ever gone with real depth was 495. 2 years after, I thought I could squat 500 for reps, right? And it's really easy, especially if you're a football player, right? None of us go to depth at in our school's weight room, right? In high school. I mean, like, nobody really. So, yeah, it is what it is. Kind of would like to, I'll play some videos of me really squatting, because I feel like, yeah, I can demonstrate it, right? But you gotta see what it really, like, when you're actually putting max effort, your form isn't gonna be perfect. But it has to be close enough, you know what I mean? But also, another thing I just want to go over how to warm up, or how I warm up. So today my top set was 425. What I do like sets of, I do the bar for like 5 or 6, right? But what I do with the bar, I get as low as I possibly can, while still flat-footed. Obviously, you don't want to go on your heel, or you don't want to get your toes ever. You don't necessarily have to have all the weight on your heels, but you don't want to go on your toes, right? So, another thing is, when you get up in weight, I'd say about 50. Your closest warm up to about 50% is when you should put on your belt. I put it on for 225 or 315, or so. I guess 60% or 70% kind of, or 60% or 70% kind of. I forgot this is my mic, so But what I do is I do 2 reps with a plate, 2 plates, 3 plates, 365. I do 2 reps. Well, I do 1 rep with 365, but I do 2 reps for most of them. The first one I'm getting as low as I can, and the second one I'm getting to, perfectly to parallel, and I'm going as it's supposed to be as I can. That way I'm getting that stretch in, but I'm still not programming my brain to go super low, and programming my brain to not go super low. So I'm trying to get that perfect depth in. I always record from the side, because it gives you the best angle. You gotta be honest with yourself too. That's another thing about the squat. You gotta be honest with yourself. If you have shit form, you gotta fix it. In the gym, do you have to get parallel to get good gains? No, not really. But you gotta get close, right? You can't half squat. You gotta get close. Yeah, so you gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta be proactive, right? Figure it out. You have literally infinite resources. I know half of them are bullshit, but just listen to me, basically, right? Just listen to me. Just don't listen to V-Shred or fucking shit like that, right? Yeah, I'd say the best thing to do is just watch, like, good squatters squat. And you have to be, similar to your body type, right? I'm not going to learn how to squat from Daniel Bell because he's like 400 pounds fat, right? He's really heavy. I'm not going to mimic his style of squatting. And I'm also not going to mimic a 100-pound female's squatting, right? I would say mostly you get from people in your weight class. But try to find somebody who has similar kind of form to you, similar body type, similar leverages, and find something that's comfortable and just mimic them, right? Mimic the best. It's like watching film in sports, right? You're learning about not the other team in this case, but you're learning, what you're doing wrong, just by looking at your other people or yourself, right? It's like the way I learned how to pause bench. I didn't watch a video. I didn't look up how to pause bench, right? Which I know is kind of hypocritical because I'm making a video on how to squat. But I just watched a video of Larry Wheel squatting, right? And of course, in this video, I do have me squatting. So if you want to mimic me, I'm not a world-class lifter or anything, but I wouldn't mimic. If I were you, I would not mimic me, right? Because I think my squat form is good. It's not great. It's not perfect, right? You can always be better. So that's about all I really got for you guys. So if you got something out of this video, please consider liking and subscribing. If you guys like this kind of video, please give me some feedback on it. I don't really like the dubbing over my sets. I do the same 3 lifts pretty much. So, yeah. If you like this kind of video, give me some feedback, and I think I'm just gonna post shorts of my top sets. Right? They get more views. They get more new viewers mostly. And then I'll do these videos. I think usually my videos that do the best are the ones where I talk the most. Right? In terms of subscribers, that's really what I look at because big numbers, cool. So yeah. So if you guys enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. So see you guys.